Sorry, talking again with your permission here. Anybody would like to have any questions about the festival and anything whatsoever, please feel to ask us a question.
Hi Datuk, just a question. How has MIJF impacted the dining scene in KL over the years? How has MIJF impacted the dining scene in KL over the years?
Impacted?
Yes.
Good question. I think most of us know that I've been here a long time, right? And we were asked to start the Gourmet Festival by the industry because there was just no diners in our restaurants. And we had diners in Malaysia, but we were in SS2, Kampung Baru, Gurney Drive. They preferred hawker food. They didn't fine dining restaurant they saw as expensive, pretentious, and embarrassing. It's like if I was in London and I went to a Chinese restaurant when I was a young guy, I'd ask for selection number 1 or number 3 because I didn't know what the foods were. Equally so, a chopstick guy from somewhere like Pepong would be very scared to go into a fine dining restaurant. He wouldn't know what dish to order. So we came up with the idea of festival menus. So he'd go there, he wouldn't worry what was an entree, what was an appetizer. And then he'd go there and he'd realize, my goodness, the restaurant manager is Mr. Wong, the chef is the Chef Muhammad. Suddenly he realizes it's not an alien place to be, you know, and it was easy to order. So the big thing the festival has done has brought our top restaurants into the local fold. And of course, the moment you get local diners coming in, the restaurants get profitable. And the moment they get profitable, more entrepreneurs come in, because they've got a market. And then our tourism gets interested because we can have a MICE industry. When people decide on this place as a destination for a convention, they're not just looking at hawker food, they look at our top restaurants. And then the chefs. Used to be like 10 or 11 restaurants. Of course, a new restaurant opens up and the first thing they lose is their chef. He gets pinched, the number 2 chef, which is a natural part of the business. And then our hospitality schools start up to accommodate the demand. And where's Winnie Lou here? Winnie, I was having my hair cut in your salon, and the hairdresser said to me, my son is going to be a chef. And I'm so proud, whereas a few years ago they would say, what is a chef? Is he a cook? So what we've done, the impact the festival has made, is promoted our red hot chefs we call today, these wonderful guys out there, but they will tell you they cannot operate without a wonderful team behind them. And the whole industry cannot survive without good marketing. And what this festival is a platform for marketing. All right? Big impact. Long answer, I know, but that gives you a bit of an idea behind the festival. More questions?
I'd like to ask about the inclusion of the luxury class showcase. I mean, this used to be all about food. Why is property coming in?
It's not property coming in. What we want to do, right, is promote in Malaysia lifestyle. We want to promote the fact that everything is an intangible thing, like the Gourmet Village. Alright? Now a few years ago we used to have a thing called Epicure International. I don't know whether you remember it. We had everything from talk on Qigong, health, everything. And we want to replace that with a smaller exhibition at the moment with lifestyle coming into it. And we want to attract the same people. The same people who get attracted to a luxury lifestyle are attracted to our restaurants. So it's all about marketing. Bringing more people in who can afford to dine in our restaurants. Very, very small exhibition. I would hope it would get a bit bigger next year. All right? Okay? Any more questions?
Hi, sorry, just wondering. For a second. Yeah, sorry. What edition is this MIJF event, and how long has MIJF been running?
Yeah, very good question. This is the 14th in the series, and it started in 2001. Right? In those days, as I mentioned, we had about 11 restaurants. We managed to get 13 altogether with a couple outside hotels. So it's been going that long. Every year, I don't mind telling you, it's a gigantic effort goes into it, all our team. You see the TV commercial, you'll see postcards, you see the books, you see what we put into it. So a lot of effort goes into it, and we do really need to be sticking together to make it happen every year, to be quite frank. Thanks.
I just want to know what with this being Visit Malaysia year, how is Tourism Malaysia promoting this festival?
Thank you very much for the question. Of course, MIGF is one of the events that's really listed in our calendar of events. It has been promoted worldwide since last year itself, and it's one of the most successful homegrown events, which we are very proud of. And we also enable foreign visitors the chance to sample some of the fine dining food that is available in one place. So we always will also promote it through our hotels, our tour operators, to let them know if they're having guests or tour groups coming in. Remember to take them here to this place for a sample of all this fine dining. It's very easy at one place. Thank you.
So when you talk about the luxury class showcase being a small one, how small is small? How many exhibitors are participating?
Yeah, to be frank with you, we haven't managed to get many exhibitors. It's very small. We might not even do it again next year. All right? So we called it Luxury Plus because we wanted to get the connection. It's interesting, but if we look at Malaysia as a tourism destination, one big area is health tourism. You might think, what has health tourism got to do with luxury? What's it got to do with food? But the reality is that we get in health tourists, they want to go to good restaurants, right? They want to go to good resorts. A lot of our intangible businesses focus on our ability to have this type of reputation. So this year, to be frank, it's been tough going. You know, there was, as we all know, a little bit of pessimism in the country for quite a while. A lot of it, justifiably. But we'll be looking at it and seeing whether we continue with it next year. We've got a reasonable amount of property companies in there, but we're thinking more or less to make it a charity occasion. The festival always has a lot to do with charity. We're helping the National Kidney Foundation this year. And we're thinking about, I've forgotten the name of it, Sue could maybe remind me, but we're thinking of doing this book where you can give the people a book. Do you know that? Where's Sue? Is she here? I don't know where she is. Right? Okay. Sue, what's that book fair you've got called? Big Bad Wolf. Book. So this is where people, for charity, they can go buy books there. We're thinking of putting that in that exhibition as well. All right? Very small part of the fair.
I'd like to ask some questions. These more on statistics. Can you let us know how many exhibitors or how many restaurants took part in the event last year, and the number of visitors that walked through the door, and how you tabulate the numbers?
Okay, do you have a copy of last year's festival report then? Have you got a festival? Do we have the festival report as part of the press kit? Is it? Where's Gillian? Okay, we can give you a whole festival report. It's all in there. The main thing, if I can say to you though, MIGF is not a short-term food promotion. It's not like an ROI for a month. You've got 30 restaurants, and the average diner can try how many in a month. It's a platform. It's a platform used to raise standards, all right? Which we've done since the very word go. And it's built up over the years, and we've seen excellence in menus, excellence in creativity. It comes to visitors, to Malaysia, that's a tourism, you can ask Tourism Malaysia. If you go to France, you go to Italy, you don't go there on a dining tour, you go there knowing that food is good. The aim of what we have is to put it out to the world. But I can tell you straight away, 183 million. Do you have any copies of this? You've all got one, right? Okay, so let me just give you those answers now. Yes, you can take a look at page 89 if you've got it here. MIGF remains top of the Google search engine rankings for Gourmet Festival. Online media coverage, 183 million page views worldwide. Main countries were USA, UK, China, France, Australia, it's all in here. It's probably best without boring everybody with all these stats, figures. Thank you.
This question is directed to the Mofactor. As you said that Tourism Malaysia has done a lot of promotions overseas and all this. So in terms of tourist arrival for this event, is there any statistic to provide us?
Can I answer that question very quickly? This is not an event like you think an event is, like an F1. This is a platform for the whole year. In other words, it establishes a reputation. So we have our website operating all year round, we push it in all year round. But when it comes to events, it's probably one of the best known in Malaysia. It's not directly related to tourist arrivals, you know, it's establishing a reputation, which is very, very different.
I understand Tourism Malaysia does contribute a certain amount each year for this event. How much is the contribution for this year's event from Tourism Malaysia? And also regarding the Lux exhibition, can I have
Okay. Sorry, which publication are you from?
Focus Malaysia?
Focus Malaysia. Is that a magazine?
It's a business weekly.
Business Weekly. Okay, the whole festival is in here. You can read about it, the cost of the festival, the amount it's all in this report. Have a quiet read. You want a copy? Any more questions from other members of the media?
Hi. Yeah, sorry. One more question here. Are there any tourism packages in terms of MIGF, like where people can, I'm here, sorry, I'm short, so. Yeah, are there any tourism packages for MIGF, specifically for MIGF, where people...
It's a good question. Yeah. To give you, just to let you know, the biggest sponsor for this whole event is the Vision 4 Media Group. Okay? And a rough idea of budget, I think Tourism Malaysia is about 10% of our costs, just to give you a rough idea. When it comes to tour packages, we used to work with the travel agency, they can do things. But it's not designed for gourmet tours. You know, you look at the success of the festival in its ability to promote and raise the whole standards of our dining scene. For example, we want to get the best chefs wanting to work here and not want to work in Hong Kong. We want them to come here, not work in Singapore. We want our young, new guys to find a career here. So this happens through general reputation and progression of standards and service within the industry. So it's not an event that is like measured by how many people go in the restaurant that week, that month, or whatever. It's an impact that we've seen over 14 years. And if anybody does want to work with the hotels and the restaurants, they can. But generally speaking, we did these tours for a number of years. You can get what we do by promoting our local chefs, resident chefs, is say you can have these standards all year round. Now, let's look at Singapore. In Singapore, they fly chefs in from other countries. We fly them in for a short-term food promotion. That is different. That is when you should be looking at what is the ROI from bringing chefs in from overseas, how many people come for how many people come for that festival. Ours is saying we promote our locally resident chefs. Our restaurants are there all year round. What you get during the festival, you can get all year round. It's just a time for us to collectively market and promote. Thanks.
Any more questions? Okay, thank you once again, members of the press. Thank you once again, Engku Nakudin, Dr. Steve Day, Dr. Junaida, for having this Q&A. And also to all our sponsors, media partners and members of the press today.